You wake up already tired, not because your body is weak, but because your mind never truly rested. Even when you stop moving, something inside you keeps pushing, whispering that rest must be earned. So you scroll, you think, you worry. And the moment you try to be still, guilt creeps in as if peace is something you're stealing. You were taught, quietly and repeatedly, that slowing down is dangerous. That if you pause, you'll fall behind. That being productive is the same as being worthy. Over time, that belief settled into your nervous system. Now rest feels unfamiliar, almost wrong, even though your body has been asking for it for so long. Notice how your chest tightens when you try to relax. Notice the urge to justify your stillness. This isn't because you're doing something wrong. It's because you've been living in a rhythm that forgot how to receive. Your body remembers another way, even if your mind argues with it at first. Rest is not laziness dressed up in comfort. It is an act of self-respect. It is the moment you tell your inner world you don't have to perform to be loved. When you rest, you are not abandoning your responsibilities, you are restoring the part of you that carries them. If guilt appears when you slow down, don't fight it. Gently observe it. Guilt often rises when an old belief is being challenged. It learned its job a long time ago when survival meant staying busy, staying useful, staying alert. You can thank it and still choose something softer. Your body heals in moments of permission. Your mind reorganizes itself in quiet spaces. Creativity, clarity, and peace do not arrive through force. They emerge when pressure is released. Nothing important is lost when you rest. What is unnecessary begins to fall away. Right now, you don't need to prove anything. You don't need to earn this pause. You are allowed to stop without explaining yourself. Let your breath slow, let your shoulders drop. Rest is not a failure of effort, it is a return to balance, and you deserve to be here. I want to begin by speaking to the part of you that feels uneasy when you try to rest, the part that tightens when you slow down, the part that whispers that you should be doing something more useful, more productive, more necessary. This voice did not appear because something is wrong with you. It appeared because you learned very early how to survive. Many of us were taught, gently or firmly, that our value came from what we did, from how helpful we were, from how well we performed our duties. We learned that love, approval, and safety often followed effort, and so effort became familiar. Stillness did not. Over time, this lesson moved out of the mind and into the body. The body learned to stay alert, to stay ready, to stay useful. And now, when you try to rest, the body does not immediately relax. It asks questions. It wonders if it is safe to stop. This is not failure. This is conditioning. I want you to understand that guilt often appears when you are doing something unfamiliar, not something wrong. Rest feels unfamiliar to a system that learned to equate movement with worth. So when you slow down, guilt rises as a kind of alarm. The alarm is not there to punish you. It believes it is protecting you. Guilt often says you haven't done enough yet, or someone else might need you, or you'll fall behind if you stop. These messages were once useful. They kept you attentive in a world that demanded a great deal from you. But usefulness is not the same as worth. I want you to begin separating these two ideas gently, without force. You are valuable even when you are still. You are worthy even when you are resting. Your breath alone is proof that you belong. The body remembers a time when rest felt natural. You can see it in a sleeping child whose worth is never questioned. Somewhere along the way, many of us forgot that rest is a part of life's rhythm, not a reward for suffering. When rest becomes conditional, peace disappears. You may notice that when you try to lie down or sit quietly, your thoughts become louder. Plans arise, memories replay, concerns surface. This does not mean rest is failing. It means the mind has not yet learned to trust stillness. Trust comes slowly, through permission. The body tightens because it has learned that stopping can be dangerous. That if it rests, it may lose control, miss something important, or disappoint someone. These beliefs were absorbed long ago, often without words. I want you to thank your body for trying to protect you. It has been very loyal, and now it is learning something new. Rest does not mean abandonment of responsibility. Rest means restoration of the one who carries responsibility. There is a deep difference. When you do not rest, you slowly disconnect from yourself. You may continue to function, but you function from depletion rather than fullness. The body whispers for rest long before it shouts, and guilt often teaches us to ignore those whispers. I want you to know that your need for rest is not a weakness. It is wisdom. Wisdom does not demand, it invites. You may have been praised in the past for pushing through exhaustion, for staying strong, for doing more than was asked. And that praise may have taught you that rest was something to feel ashamed of. Shame has no place in healing. Rest is not laziness dressed up in comfort. It is cooperation with life. It is the moment you say, I matter too. Notice how radical that feels. The mind may argue. It may say, there's no time, or later, or after just one more thing. These arguments come from fear, not truth. Fear of being left behind. Fear of being seen as unworthy. I want you to begin seeing fear and guilt not as enemies, but as messengers from an old story that is ready to be released. You do not need to silence them. You only need to stop obeying them. Rest does not steal from life. It gives back to it. When you rest, your body repairs itself quietly, your mind organizes itself naturally, your heart softens its grip on effort. None of this requires struggle. It happens when you allow it. The discomfort you feel when resting is not a sign you should stop resting. It is a sign that something inside you is unlearning a long-held belief. Unlearning can feel uncomfortable before it feels freeing. I want you to notice your breath right now, not to change it, just to notice. Even this small act of attention may feel unfamiliar. That is all right. Familiarity grows through kindness, not force. You are not required to justify your need for rest. You do not need permission from anyone outside yourself. Life itself designed you to require cycles of activity and rest. Ignoring those cycles does not make you stronger. It makes you tired. And tiredness is not a moral failure. I want you to hear this clearly. You are allowed to rest without earning it. You are allowed to pause without explanation. You are allowed to stop without falling apart. Nothing essential is lost when you rest. What is unnecessary begins to loosen. Rest creates space. Space allows truth to rise gently. As we continue, I want you to hold this understanding softly. The guilt you feel around rest is not a command, it is a habit. And habits can change. Change begins not with effort, but with compassion. You are learning a kinder rhythm now, one that includes both giving and receiving, one that honors the body's wisdom instead of overriding it. This is not indulgence. This is balance, and balance is your natural state. Now that we have begun to understand why rest can feel unsafe, I want to speak more deeply about guilt. Guilt often arrives quietly. It does not shout. It whispers. It makes suggestions that sound reasonable, responsible, even loving. And yet its presence keeps the body tense and the heart uneasy. Guilt is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is a sign that an old belief is being challenged. Many people learn that rest must be justified, that stillness must be earned, that stopping requires a reason. And when those reasons are not immediately visible, guilt steps in to remind you of the old rules. These rules were not created by life. They were learned through repetition, through expectation, through watching how others were valued. And because they were learned, they can be unlearned. I want you to see guilt not as an authority, but as a habit. A habit formed when being busy felt safer than being still. Guilt often says, you could be doing more, or others need you, or you haven't earned this yet. These messages sound convincing because they were once praised. They helped you belong. They helped you feel useful. But usefulness is not the same as worth. Worth does not increase when you exhaust yourself. Worth does not disappear when you rest. Worth simply is. When guilt arises as you rest, it does not mean you should stop resting. It means you are learning something new and the old pattern is reacting. I want you to greet guilt gently. Not with obedience and not with rejection. Simply notice it. Say inwardly, I see you. That acknowledgement alone softens its grip. Guilt loses power when it is no longer feared. So often guilt keeps the body alert long after the need for alertness has passed. It keeps muscles tense. It keeps the breath shallow. It convinces the heart that relaxation is dangerous. But danger is not present in this moment. You are allowed to rest without explanation. You are allowed to pause without proving anything. You are allowed to stop without apologizing. These permissions may feel unfamiliar. That does not mean they are wrong. It means they are new. I want you to begin offering yourself a gentle affirmation, not as a demand, but as reassurance. I am allowed to rest. Say it softly. Let the words land where they will. You do not need to convince yourself. You only need to allow the possibility. Rest does not take anything away from you. It returns something that has been missing: ease. Guilt often tightens when ease appears, because ease was once unfamiliar. But unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. When you feel guilt, notice what happens in your body. Does your chest tighten? Does your stomach contract? This is the body responding to an old instruction. You can gently offer another affirmation. It is safe for me to pause. Safety is what guilt has been trying to protect. When safety is named directly, guilt can rest. You may have been taught that peace comes after effort, after everything is handled, after everyone else is satisfied. But peace that waits for perfection never arrives. Peace arrives when you stop postponing it. I want you to understand that guilt thrives on delay. It always says later, later after more is done, later after you have earned it, later when things are different. But your body does not live in later. Your body lives now, and now is where rest is needed. Forgiveness is an important part of releasing guilt. Forgiveness not for doing something wrong, but for believing you had to be relentless in order to be worthy. You might gently say to yourself, I forgive myself for believing I must earn rest. Forgiveness loosens the grip of old expectations. It allows compassion to enter where judgment once lived. Judgment creates tension. Compassion creates release. I want you to know that choosing rest does not make you irresponsible. It makes you responsive to your body, to your limits, to life's natural rhythm. When you ignore the need for rest, life eventually insists. When you honor it, life cooperates. You are not stepping away from your responsibilities when you rest. You are tending to the one who carries them. This is wisdom, not indulgence. Guilt often fears that if you stop, you will never start again. But rest does not erase motivation. It restores it. A rested body moves with clarity. A rested mind decides with ease. A rested heart loves without strain. Nothing important is lost when you rest. What is unnecessary falls away. I want you to begin separating guilt from truth. Guilt speaks loudly, but it does not always speak wisely. Truth is quieter. It speaks through the body's signals: fatigue, heaviness, longing for stillness. Listening to truth feels calming. Listening to guilt feels tightening. You are learning to tell the difference. You may notice that as you continue resting, guilt softens more quickly. It no longer stays as long. This is a sign that a new pattern is forming. Patterns change through repetition, not force. Each time you rest without justification, you teach your system something new. You teach it that rest is allowed. That safety does not depend on effort. This teaching takes time. Be patient with yourself. You may still feel guilt sometimes. That does not mean you are failing. It means the habit is familiar. Greet it and choose rest anyway. You are not here to eliminate guilt. You are here to stop letting it decide. I want you to remember this. Guilt is loud when self-worth is conditional. As self-worth becomes unconditional, guilt quiets naturally. You do not need to fight it. You only need to practice kindness. Rest is not something you take from life. Rest is something life gives you. You are allowed to receive. As we move forward, I want you to carry this understanding gently. You do not need to earn peace. Peace is not payment for exhaustion. Peace is your natural state when resistance ends. And resistance often looks like guilt. You are learning to release it now, not by force, but by choosing something softer. This choice changes everything. Now I want to turn our attention gently toward the body, because the body often carries beliefs long after the mind has begun to understand something new. You may tell yourself that it is all right to rest and still feel tension in your shoulders, your jaw, or your breath. This is not resistance. This is memory. The body remembers what it learned during times when stillness did not feel safe, when stopping meant falling behind, disappointing someone, or losing approval. The body adapted by staying alert, and it has been loyal to that habit for a very long time. So when you rest now, the body does not immediately soften. It watches, it waits. It wonders if this pause is allowed. I want you to know that the body does not relax because it is told to. It relaxes when it feels reassured. And reassurance comes through gentleness, not force. You do not need to make your body rest. You only need to let it know that rest is welcome. Notice how often people try to relax by effort. They tell themselves to calm down, to let go, to stop feeling tense. But the body does not respond to commands. It responds to kindness. Kindness feels different in the body. It feels slower. It feels warmer. It feels patient. I want you to begin noticing sensations without trying to change them. The weight of your body, the support beneath you, the simple fact that you are being held by something right now, by a chair, a bed, the floor, the earth itself. Support is real, even when you forget it. When the body feels supported, it no longer needs to hold itself so tightly. You may notice that your breathing changes as you become aware of support. It may deepen slightly, or slow, or become less controlled. These are signs that the body is beginning to trust. Trust does not arrive suddenly. It grows through repetition. Each time you rest and nothing bad happens, the body learns something new. Each time you pause and are still accepted, the body releases a little more tension. This learning happens quietly. I want you to stop judging how well you rest. There is no correct way to be still. There is only honesty. If your body feels restless, allow that. If it feels heavy, allow that too. Stillness does not require silence inside. Stillness is simply the absence of pushing. You may feel discomfort when you first allow yourself to be still. This does not mean you should stop resting. It means something old is loosening. The body is adjusting to a new instruction. The instruction is simple. You are safe enough to pause. You might gently offer your body this reassurance. It is safe for me to rest. Say it slowly, or simply feel the meaning of it. Words are helpful, but tone matters more than language. Imagine speaking to a tired child. You would not rush them. You would not demand that they relax correctly. You would offer comfort and patience. Your body deserves the same care. You may notice places where tension remains. Let them be. Tension that is allowed often releases on its own. Tension that is forced only tightens. There is wisdom in waiting. Rest is not a technique, it is a relationship with your body. And relationships grow through trust. When you lie down or sit quietly, notice if there is an urge to justify your stillness, to explain it, to make it temporary. This urge comes from the belief that rest must be defended. It does not. You do not owe rest an explanation. You do not need to make it reasonable. You are allowed to stop simply because you are tired. Tiredness is not a weakness. It is a signal. The body speaks through sensation. Heaviness, fatigue, longing for stillness, these are not inconveniences. They are messages asking for care. When you listen, healing begins. I want you to feel how different it is to meet your body with respect instead of discipline. Discipline tightens. Respect softens. Softening allows rest to deepen. As the body begins to trust stillness, you may notice emotions rising gently. Sadness, relief, tenderness. These are not problems. They are signs that something has been held for a long time and is now being allowed to release. You do not need to analyze these feelings. You only need to stay present with them. Presence is enough. I want you to remember that rest heals more than the body. It heals the heart. It heals the relationship you have with yourself. When you allow yourself to be still without guilt, you tell your inner world that it does not have to perform to be loved. That message is deeply healing. You may notice that after resting, you feel clearer. Not energized in a forced way, but steadier, more grounded. This is the body returning to balance. Balance does not come from constant motion. It comes from rhythm. Life has rhythm. Breath has rhythm. Sleep has rhythm. You were not designed to be in motion all the time. Honoring rhythm restores harmony. I want you to trust your body's wisdom. It knows how to repair itself when given the chance. You do not need to supervise healing. You do not need to manage it. Healing happens when pressure is removed. You may find that as you practice resting, it becomes easier. The body begins to anticipate kindness instead of vigilance. It learns that stillness is not dangerous. This learning is profound, and it is happening now, even if you cannot feel it yet. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle with your body. You are teaching it something new, and new things take time to feel familiar. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are learning. Learning how to be still without fear. Learning how to rest without guilt. Learning how to let your body be supported. This learning changes everything. As we continue, I want you to carry this understanding. Rest is not something you force your body into. It is something you invite your body to receive.